This is my idea of when somebody says, oh, it'll make a good story, like down the road later in life. This is my idea of a good story, spending 5 years in maximum security prison. Love to all, and welcome everybody. My name is BLacKHaLLoW, and this is Would You Rather. We are back, lucky episode 13. It's been a little while since I uploaded this, and I was trying to decide what to play, and well, here we are, so let's kick it off. Would you rather have to wear a full-body red leotard on your wedding day, or have the person you are marrying that day wear the full body red leotard? I loaded up a random question, and that actually turned out to be a good one. Normally I have to do the intro a couple times to start off with a good one, but I think here's the deal. I've actually had to be on stage in a black leotard one time, and it was probably the most interesting performance I've ever done in my life, and it was the most fun, but it's probably the only time that I will ever wear a leotard in my life, regardless of the color, black or red. So I think I would rather have the person that I am marrying on my wedding day wear the full body red leotard. Okay, good. Alrighty, I was good. See, I don't know if people picked. I thought maybe people would pick like possibly based on whether they were comfortable in it or not, but now I'm starting to think that people just really wanted to pick the other person and take the selfish route. Would you rather be James Bond or be Jason Bourne? As a kid, I loved the James Bond movies. My family and we used to always go watch them in the theaters. Always had them on VHS and DVD when DVD started coming out. And so for me, James Bond would be really cool. But James Bond is a bumbling idiot and the worst fucking spy to ever be on the face of the earth. He's the luckiest damn person, and that is the only reason why he is successful in his missions, okay? He thinks with the wrong head, so we're gonna be going with Jason Bourne. I knew that was gonna pan out that way, but see, Jason Bourne leads a life of action and adventure just like James Bond, but he's smart. He doesn't rely on his gadgets, and he doesn't have to be witty. He's a fucking badass. 20% of people know what I'm talking about. Would you rather control your dreams or watch them the next day? Ever since probably about 8 or 9 years old, I've actually been able to control my dreams fairly consistently, as long as it stems from one thing: playing music. When I was a kid, I would dream that I was playing music, and then all of a sudden I realized that I was able to do things that I wasn't normally able to do, and that's when I realized that I was dreaming. So as long as I'm playing music at some point in my dream, an instrument, singing, whatever it may be, my voice usually sounds different if I'm singing, but it automatically cues me into the fact that I'm dreaming. So this right here is pretty consistent with, what I can do already. Watch them the next day. I keep a dream journal, and part of that is because it helps you lucid dream, and it helps you be able to do that. I do that type of dreaming. I choose to do it, and I choose to pursue it because it adds more creative time into your life. Normally that time would be spent sleeping, but you can use it as a songwriter, as a poet. You can probably use it even as a video game designer. I mean, lucid dreaming is an incredible thing that is probably really underestimated and under researched and a lot of other stuff. But either way, long story short, that's what I do, and I already can kind of watch them the next day by reading back what I wrote down in my dream journal. So I'd probably still be able to control my dreams. Yeah. Alrighty, cool. Because I was going to say, I'm curious to see how many people would want to sit down and watch them as a movie, but to me, that takes time away from real life. If you're able to control your dreams, then that adds time to life. That adds experience to life, whereas if you just watch them the next day, then it's got a novelty to it, But, you guys know what I'm saying. Would you rather live with Hitler for 3 years or live with Saddam Hussein for 6 years? I am actually very educated. Wait a minute. Look at this down here. You must spend every day with him and spend all day with him. So they're talking about living in with it, like being a roommate, I think. Oh, God. Well, I wouldn't last 3 years. I wouldn't last 6 years. I'd try to kill him on the first day. It doesn't really matter. I mean, that's a very interesting question. I think between the two of them, I would, operating on the basis that I would try to off either one of them, I'd probably live with Hitler. My dad came from Germany, so I've got ties to that part of the world and that part of history. And Hitler was he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. And that and 3 years is less than 6. So technically, I'd be accomplishing more of this than that, even if I only lasted for a day. Would you rather live to be 200 in colonial times or live a normal lifespan modern day? If you live to be 200, then you're obviously pretty damn spry. I mean, in colonial times, you've got to have some serious antibodies running in your system. Like, to live way back then, I think I would rather live to be 200, because here's the deal, you guys. Our generation right now, we're seeing a lot of changes and a lot of developments happen with society, but for the most part, the new world is discovered and we may not discover the final frontier. So we're in this kind of gap. But if I were to go back to colonial times, I would get to see the building of pretty much the nation of, after the Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark came over and basically discovered everywhere that I am at right now. So I think I would rather be 200 in colonial times. Okay, alrighty. I was gonna say I'm thinking I'm going with the minority on that one, but yeah, definitely that would be interesting. A very cool experience. Would you rather drool abnormally in public or audibly moan during each conversation you have? Okay. I think people would get used to either one. But me being the natural troll that I am, I think I would audibly moan during each conversation. Could you just imagine, like in the middle of your friend talking? Oh god, the drool would get kind of messy. Like the drool would be very messy. I mean, you could probably like wear a mask and say something like you had, a terrible cold and you didn't want to get anybody sick, but then it would get the mask all soggy and yeah, I'd rather just do this. If you are a pirate, would you rather have a pet monkey or have a talking parrot? I am a bird fan. I am an avian at heart. I was probably a bird in a past life. I would rather have a talking parrot. Monkeys are cool, great, and awesome and stuff, and yeah, but I mean, no, I'd rather have a talking parrot. I'd absolutely rather have a talking parrot. Would you rather be known as the all-time greatest mathematician or writer? Absolutely. In a way, songwriting is writing, and to me, poetry is writing. To me, being a columnist is writing. Those sorts of things, they all fall under being a writer. I would rather be a writer, a creator, somebody that brought things into existence for the sole purpose of having no more value than they hold themselves. Math, that's it's for the greater purpose of, the universal language and stuff like that. But being the all-time greatest writer, and to me also, both of these are subjective. Being the all-time greatest at anything is relative. It's not like you can't actually be the all-time greatest. The only all-time greatest is George Washington, and that's because they enacted a law to promote him to another star every single time that a general gets within 1 star of him, so that nobody can ever outrank him. That is the only ever all-time greatest in history. Everything else is all relative. Would you rather have to skip instead of walk or run at all times, or sprint everywhere you'd normally walk, jog, or run to? When I was in middle school, I was a sprinter in track and field. That would get pretty old, though. I mean, always sprinting everywhere. Like even from here to the fridge, I would have to sprint. Have to skip instead of walk or run at all times. If you get tired while sprinting, you can stop to take a break, but then you've got to sprint as fast as you can again. While skipping, you must bound as high as you can. Oh, well, that sounds like a lot more work then. I can just say that I'm tired all the time, and then that's all I did in track and field. As coach, I'm tired, I can't run this one. I wasn't that bad, but I mean, I was also kind of manipulative, so I got to sit out whenever I wanted to. Would you rather skip summer or skip winter? You know, both of them have their benefits. I'm a gardener. I love going out and I love spending time with my dogs out in the summertime. I'm an avid hiker as well, and I love to take winter hikes. Like, I love to go, I don't go hunting, but I love to be out there and see the nature during that time, because that's when there's a lot of activity. That's when you can really see them. They're not camouflaged, because where I live we have a whole lot of snow, so it's really easy to see wildlife. But anyway, I don't know, between the two of them, they both have their benefits, but I think between the two, I'd rather skip summer. Yeah, and I knew I was going to go with the minority on that one. And the reason being is because I do enjoy the cold more than I enjoy the warm. And as do my dogs. We do not mind going out in 3 feet of snow and hiking for 10 miles just for fun. So I can do that in the summertime, I can do that in the wintertime, but between the two of them, if I only had to pick one, I'd skip summer and I'd go for winter. Would you rather have your blood sucked by a vampire or have your brain eaten by a zombie? I imagine that this one would be a little bit more comforting. I mean, what with Robert Pattinson's soft hands and face and such. And this one would just be bloody and grotesque for anybody who has ever seen The Walking Dead. This was a joke, by the way. I was being facetious. I think between the two of them, like, honestly speaking, I think that this one would probably be easier just because you would slowly kind of... Oh, wait a minute. Both choices leading to the same state. You turn into a zombie vampire or you die in both cases. Okay, so either we're going to die or we're going to turn into the chosen one. I'd rather become a vampire. I'd rather be a vampire. Wow. Okay, great. Yeah, I'd rather be a vampire. The zombies are just brainless and they're automated, autopilot. Vampires are still lucid. They have some handicaps that they have to work around, like the whole, sunlight thing. But, live, learn, adapt, my friends. If it's a new jungle, you got to figure out a way to survive. Would you rather watch Are You Afraid of the Dark or read Goosebumps? My childhood! Oh my God! Both of these things. This was probably when I was a lot younger, probably about, I want to say like 5, 6, 7 at the oldest, somewhere around that area. Goosebumps were a little bit later on. That was probably when I was like 8, 9, 10 in that area. But between the two of them, I loved Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Goosebumps, they were a lot of fun. I loved them. I loved the choose your own ending ones. If I could have more of the choose your own endings, I would probably read Goosebumps instead. But just because I haven't seen all the episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and I would probably experience it different now as an adult, and a lot more entertained by it than I would be by reading Goosebumps, I would rather watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's what I thought, because I don't know how many people actually remember this, but pretty much people from my generation, I think. I don't even know if they ever brought that series back, but they should for this generation. They should. It's a good show. It is a good show. Would you rather spend 5 years in maximum security prison and receive $5 million upon your release, cha-ching, or not go to prison and never become rich? Okay, so obviously this one over here has the ramification of death. What's it say down here? You are in Gen Pop with no special treatment. Okay, alrighty, so there's no requesting, like, protective custody or anything like that. I think, shit. Well, I think between the two of them, it'd be a fun adventure. Oh, it would be so fun. It would be so fun. Like, I mean, okay, it wouldn't be fun, but it would be an adventure. See, people, like, do dumb things to get drunk, do drugs, and, like, go to Vegas and lose thousands of dollars and have stories like that. I don't have any of those stories. This right here, this is the dumb thing that I would do. This is my idea of when somebody says, oh, it'll make a good story, like, down the road later in life. This is my idea of a good story, spending 5 years in maximum security prison. So I would rather spend 5 years in maximum security prison. That, and I feel like I could probably play the game pretty well. I tend to be a little conniving sometimes, so I might have almost a touch of fun with this. But like I said, in one way or another, it'd be an adventure. I mean, it'd be an adventure, that's for damn sure. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it off on this one. Comment down below what your answer to this question is, because I'm really curious what you guys think. So friends, if you enjoy what you see, and only if, leave a little love in the comment section, or leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of whatever the hell comes next. And as usual, enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you guys again